Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, my dear students of grade 10 in Tamayus School. In this video, I'm going to teach you and work together with you to answer some exercises at your workbook, page 6 and 7. Of course, it is related to grammar. As we know, our grammar lesson is about present perfect that we have studied before. So let's get started. Let's revise together what is present perfect. As I said before, it is the verb has or have plus past participle. It depends on the subject. So if I use I have, you have, they have, we have. If we use a singular subject, you can say she has, he has, it has, all, of course, followed by the past participle of the verb. So I can say I have decided or he has decided. Okay, so the first exercise that we have today is to complete. We have to complete the sentences with the correct statement, question, or negative form of the present perfect. I mean, we have a statement, we have to use it in the negative form, and we have to form a question from this statement. So as you can see in the sentence A, I have bought a new stamp. This is a statement. So if you want to make a question, you can say, who can tell me? Just think for a while, you will find that the statement will be changed into have you bought a new stamp? In the negative form, of course, it's very easy. Have, it will be haven't. So I haven't bought a new stamp. Take your time. I will give you a little time to think think of the following sentences or the rest of the sentences. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so let's check the answers together. Who can tell me? Of course, this is the statement. I have bought a new stamp. If you want to make it a question, you will use have you bought a new stamp? To make it negative, I haven't bought a new stamp. I haven't bought a new stamp. Sentence B. This is a question that we have already here. Has he visited the museum every year? We want a statement and we want a negative form. The statement, of course, started with a subject, he. So if we use he, is it he has or he have? Exactly, he has visited the museum every year. To make it negative, it's much easier because we already have the auxiliary verb, we already have the past participle and nothing, just add not, so it will be he hasn't visited the museum every year. Question C, we have the negative form, and of course to make a positive or a statement, of course it will be much easier because we will just remove not. So they haven't written will be they have written. They haven't is negative. They have written is a statement. To make it a question, just start with have. Have they written a book recently? Have they written a book recently? This is question C. Next question, I have eaten my dinner. I have eaten my dinner. If you want to make it a question, start with have. Of course, not have I. It will be have you eaten your dinner? Have you eaten your dinner? It's a question. To make it a negative sentence, of course, haven't. I haven't eaten my dinner. Question E, I haven't watched the news today. I haven't watched the news today. So I have watched the news today. It is not possible to use I has. This is not English. So just use I have watched the news today. To make it question, just start with have. Have you watched the news today? Have you watched the news today? This is the question form. This is the last one. sentence F, she didn't pass her exam. She didn't pass her exam. If you pay more attention here, this is not has, this is not have, this is not hasn't or haven't. It's a past simple. So if you want to make a negative from a past simple, we can use didn't. In a positive or in a statement, of course, we will not use did or didn't. Just make this the verb, make it past. The main verb here is pass, so it will be passed. She passed her exam. She passed her exam. Of course, it will be she didn't pass her exam. Also, if you want to start a question, of course, we use did. Did she pass her exam? Did she pass her exam? So it's totally different from the present perfect. As I said before, in this lesson, we have some new words that can refer to the present perfect, like some and for, like since and for. Briefly, since when I talk about a specific date or time, specific date or time. But for, it is used with a period of time or time expressions, period of time or time expressions. Here, look at a close look at this photo for a period of time, but since a date or since the starting point of the date. So when I say for 5 minutes, for half an hour, for a while, for a long time, for 7 months, for 6 days, for 10 years, for 2 weeks, so it's a period of time. But since we talk about the starting point or the specific time or the specific date, so 6 o'clock, since 6 o'clock, since Thursday, since March, since 1995, since I was young, since the beginning of time, since the Liberation Day, since Ramadan, since yesterday, any past expression, use it with since. Okay, you have to memorize what can we use with for and what can we use with since. Let's have a look at this exercise number 2. Sorry. Here we have to use since or for. Just use since or for. Quickly have a look at the exercise, and then I'll be back in a minute. Okay, that's enough. Here, let's start with the first sentence. She lived here for 3 years. She has lived here for 3 years. He's been a teacher at school in Al Ahmadi since 2001. 2001, it's a specific date, so we use since. We have known each other since last summer. Last summer, it's a past expression, so we use since. I have waited for nearly 2 hours. 2 hours is a period of time, so we use for. So we use for after, with a period of time. I have felt ill or sick. Ill means sick. I have felt ill since I got up this morning. I felt ill since I got up this morning. It's a past sentence, so we use since. Okay. I am starving. Starving means very hungry. I am very hungry. I'm starving. I have wanted to eat since 10 a.m. Since 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is an or a specific time, so we use since. Next, my mother and my father have been married for 20 years. 20 years or 20 years is a period of time, so of course we have to use the word for. Okay, I have worked for the same company for 3 years. Again, with period of time, 3 years, use for. The last one, I have been too busy to see my friends since last month. Last month is a past expression, last month, past expression, so use since. The doctor said I have to wear this cast for 6 weeks. Cast means like bandage. If you are sorry, if you have a broken leg, a broken arm, or any broken bone in your body, you wear a cast for 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a period of time. I've been reading this book since this morning. This morning, starting point. It's not a period of time, it's a starting point, so we use since. Okay, this is exactly what we need to use or to know since for starting point or past expression. For we use it with a period of time. Next exercise, we have to complete the sentences with the correct present form, present perfect form of the verb in brackets. And we have to use also since or for. Okay, so we have two tasks here: to correct the verb in the present perfect and to choose or use one of since or for. I enjoy reading books since I was a child. I enjoy, make it present perfect, so I have or I have. Of course, I have enjoyed. I have enjoyed reading books since I was a child. So let's start with sentence A. Think of these sentences. Take your time. In a minute, I'll be back to you. Okay, that's enough. Let's start with sentence A. In sentence A, I have been in the school, or sentence A, my sister has played. My sister has played. So play, it will be has played because my sister is singular. And we use for 2 years because 2 years is a period of time. Sentence B, I have been in the school orchestra for 6 months. 6 months. 6 months is a period of time used for. Sentence C, write, it will be has written, has because my brother is only one person, he is a singular subject, has, and the past participle of write is written, double T, be careful of the double T, has written short stories in his free time for over 5 years. Over 5 years is a period of time used for. Sentence D, Noor has read, not read. If we use the infinitive read, the base form, it is read. If you make it past or past participle, it is pronounced read. Noor has read 30 books since last year. Last year is a past expression, we use since. Hassan has visited Qatar every year for business since 1997. 1997, it's a specific date, so it is since. Hassan is a singular person or a singular subject. We use has plus past participle of visited. So this is exercise number 3. Now time to answer exercise number 4, page 13. We have to choose the appropriate response. This is not grammar. This is language functions. Language functions, it's communicative. We use it in our daily life, so we have to be careful when we use the appropriate response. Take your time. In a minute, I'll be back. Think of the response to each statement. Okay, let's start with the first one. When I say to someone, what do you say to your cousin at his graduation ceremony? Ceremony, it means like party. Graduation ceremony, of course, do you say to him, congratulations, you must be tired. Congratulations, you look relieved. Congratulations, you must be very proud. Or many happy returns. Many happy returns, you say it to him on his birthday. On his birthday. So the most suitable response is, of course, you must be proud. Sure, definitely you are very proud of yourself. So congratulations, you must be very proud. Sentence B. What do you say to your interviewer at the end of a job interview? You are in a or at a job interview and you have to tell him something in the end or at the end of the job interview. Do you tell him, please let me know as soon as possible? This is very rude, of course. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Who else are you interviewing? It's not your business. You don't have to say this. I really need this job. Of course, this is not good in you if you are having an interview. You tell him, thank you. You have to be polite. You're looking forward to hearing from him. So I'm looking forward, or I look forward to hearing from you. Sentence C. What do you say to an important academic who is visiting your school? You have been asked to greet them, so it's your time or it's your task to greet an academic who is visiting your school. You will tell him, I'm sorry, my teacher isn't here. Do you need help with your language? I'm a big fan of yours. Welcome to our school. Of course, if you are visiting or you are meeting someone for the first time, you welcome him. So you say, welcome to our school. What do you say to your father before he travels on a business trip? It's very easy. Before someone is traveling, you wish him a safe journey. So, of course, have a safe journey. Not don't forget us, not take food with you. Be careful, he's not going to dangerous places. So just wish him a safe journey. What do you say to a shop assistant who you think has overcharged you? He took much more money from you than usual. So of course you use this one, which is, can you check the price of that, please? I'm not sure about the price. Can you check the price? So I think I paid too little. Of course not. I'd like to return. Not yet. You haven't bought yet. Do you have this in a different size? I mean, he has overcharged, so you have to check the price first. What do you say to a waiter in a restaurant? Of course, you tell him, what would you recommend? You are confused, you don't know what to order, so you ask him to recommend a meal for you. So you say, what do you recommend, or what would you recommend for me? Okay. Exercise number 5, we have two words, begin and start. Begin and start, they are very close in meaning, almost mean the same, but they are slightly different in some phrases. So let's have a look. The first one, when I say we started off very early, of course, start off means travels very early in the morning so that we could see sunrise. Started off very early. He thought they would share all the cost of the meal, but unfortunately he ended up, in the end, he ended up paying for everyone. Sentence C, when is the end of your school year? You cannot say the start of the school year, the beginning of, no, in this sentence you use only the end, no, the start. When is the start of the, when is the end of the school year? I will be finishing school in June. If you are asking about June, so it is the end, not the beginning. I will be finishing school in June. Did you finish that book I lent you last week? I read the beginning of it, beginning of the book, not the start. You have to use the beginning of the year, the beginning of the book, the beginning of the film, but I haven't had time to read the rest of it. Okay, so this is sentence E, the ending of the play, the ending of the film, the ending of the match, and so on. The ending of the play was very disappointing, especially after it had begun off so well. Begun, it's past participle of begin. This is almost the end of our lesson, but before we close, we have this exercise. It's very little exercise. So let's, of course, about prepositions. We studied prepositions before. I told you to memorize through, on, of, with, in, for, amongst, outside, and about. Take your time. I'll be back to discuss these statements with you. Okay, question or sentence A. I was in Qatar for 3 weeks. Can I say on Qatar? Can I say by Qatar? Of course not. In a country, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in Egypt, in America, and so on. My final exam is on Friday. As I told you before, days comes with on Friday. By the time, it's a very famous expression, by the time I get home, I will have traveled 200 miles. By the time. Sentence D, we waited outside for the outside the restaurant for 1 hour. For is an expression with period of time. Sentence E, the boy was walking through the doorway. To walk through the forest, walk through the park, walk through the doorway, and so on. When walk through the jungle, when he saw a squirrel outside. To walk through, I mean in a place. Sentence F, of all the students who went there, she saw the only one with high grades. Of all the students, okay? Sentence G, they talked amongst themselves. As I told before, if I'm talking about a group of people, use amongst, okay? Amongst themselves. Thank you very much. No, sorry, before I close my video, before I finish, we have only 2 sentences left. We knocked at the door, but there was no one in. I mean in the house or inside the house, okay? He was in prison for 12 years. Of course, we know what is for. It is for a period of time. Thank you very much. Thank you for attention. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video, and inshallah see you soon in next videos. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.